Since the round one games are set, I do have a few thoughts on these. Like Alabama's going to play Oklahoma round one. We just saw the game a few weeks ago in a different venue. We saw Oklahoma come to Tuscaloosa. Remember, that was the game. Yeah, you guys remember. That was the game I was so confident in. Alabama's got a little bit of a roll going on, and Model loves Alabama. I think it was -5.5 or -6.5. We laid the points, and the thing about the box score of the game was we got everything we thought we would get from a production standpoint, except one small problem, and that was -3 in the turnover column. And I remember I would love to excuse this away. I would love for them to be those freak kind of, ball hit an offensive lineman's helmet, popped up in the air, and an OU linebacker caught it. It was not that. It was Oklahoma forcing turnovers, and truthfully, it could have been a lot worse because there were some fumbles that OU didn't recover that they forced. So we saw the game a few weeks ago, and OU ended up winning a close game in Tuscaloosa. Same issue here. If Oklahoma is able to limit that run of Alabama's, and why not? Everyone else does. So if they're able to do that again, and it comes down to Ty Simpson throwing, this time it's him trying to do it on the road. Norman, Oklahoma hosting a playoff game. Going to be pretty special. So it's him having to do it on the road. It is a night kickoff. That place will be lubricated. No immunity. It just is what it is. He had success against them the first time around statistically, but it came at a price. And the price was them having to rely on a high-leverage offensive game script and Brent Venables making them pay the price. So again, we're going to see Oklahoma after a few weeks off here. Until further notice, we have to assume that John Mateer kind of is what he's going to be. I don't know that, but I'm going to assume maybe limited production from Oklahoma offensively, but just like Indiana showed us last night. Hey, quick time out here. Are you subscribed to the channel? It doesn't cost anything. It's free. Please do it. It helps us maintain the show at this level. That's it. That's all I got. Back to the clip. If you're putting up 13, it doesn't matter if you hold the other guy to 10. So if Oklahoma's going to get 20 on the board, a lot of them feel like that's going to be good enough to win. Plus, they're going to listen to people talk about how they don't really deserve to be there. Some people. Dusty Dvorak's going to make sure, Gabe Eicher, Teddy Lehman going to make sure they scour the internet and find every disrespectful comment about Oklahoma, of which there will be many, and plaster them all over the place. And they absolutely will. I'm not going to contribute, though, because I believe in a complementary style of football. If you get praised for scoring 50 points a game offensively, you also ought to get praised for what you hold teams to defensively. So it's a home game at Oklahoma. Oh, they asked me when I did get up the other day, Greeny said, "You're the commissioner, what would you do?" I listed a few other things, but pretty high on my list was giving us more home playoff games. If we've got to expand the playoff, and we did, how do we look and say, we only want one round. We only want one round of this. No. Give me as many rounds of that as possible, immunity. That's going to be great. And that's, in case you missed it, that is a Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. local time kick. Alabama at Oklahoma is the Friday night game. And then Saturday, you've got 3 games. Speaking of which, I've got thoughts on another game. So we know that game's on a Friday night. Our overall journey this week was incredible for us. It started Thursday. We went up to New York City. We did get up on look, when Mike Greenberg hits you up and says, "I need you in New York. I need you in studio. We got to talk multiple segments of college football." You look at your phone and you go, "Oh, is he serious? Wow, good for Greeny." And you go up there. And we did that Thursday. And then you come home and you do your live show in Nashville that Thursday night, slightly pre-recorded on Thursday. We went down to Atlanta on Friday. And we sold out the Buckhead Theater there in Atlanta. Look at you guys. This was an incredible moment. We did not broadcast this live because that's the value of attending a ticketed event. Kublik joined us, even though he had complications getting in the building. Will Compton, Taylor Lewan joined us there. We had a bunch of friends of the program show up. Alyssa Lang stopped by. Chris Doring stopped by. We had Peter Burns join us on stage. We had exclusive merch that's only available at our live event, and I don't know whatever my expectations were for that merchandise, but you guys blew that away. Everything about the show was better than best case scenario. We intentionally went into that show having no format. I didn't even take a piece of paper on stage with me. We had no idea how we wanted it to go. So I literally told our production team, turn the mics on. That's it. Open the doors and turn the mics on. So we learned a few lessons, obviously. But that was so fun, and it was the first time that we've ever had an event where in very, very large numbers, our audience comes together. And about 1,000 of you were there. That's as many as we could fit in there. So you guys can attest to this. But for the many, many more of you who weren't there and who will hopefully be able to attend the several of these we do in the future, yes, that's happening. The vibe was pretty incredible. You never know what to expect. You know, when you've built an audience like ours, but you haven't had those kind of events, you don't know what it's like when everyone gets together. I don't know how to describe it. It felt like a family reunion, just a great big family reunion. It's unbelievable. So I've always known the attachment. I've always known how loyal you guys are to the show, and me in turn to you. Like I've always known that. But it was really nice to see it validated, I guess, with a real tangible example. So that was, man, it was a load of fun. We're going to do several more of those. You know, so anyone who had FOMO, if you had fear of missing out on that one, we'll do that several more times. We had some very, very high-level meetings on Friday with a bunch of very important people who are very interested in taking those concepts and duplicating them several times over. And that includes the next day when myself, along with Harry Douglas, along with Taylor Lewan and Will Compton, were just handed microphones by ESPN and thrown on national television to call the SEC championship game. This right here is some of the most fun I've ever had. Kirby Smart, right before the SEC championship game, walks up and says, guys, you got to make sure you enjoy this. Well, we did. We did. It was bumpy out of the gate, you know, because none of us have done that before. But eventually, you know, Tebow comes up, very inquisitive, happy to assist him, any kind of advice he needed. This was so much fun. We got great traction on this. This is a concept that I highly expect we'll be able to explore again. Big time thanks to Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee is why we were able to do this. That is Pat's package. That recording artist, Pat McAfee, mind you, that is his package. That is his property, and he was able to put us on it. And then thanks to ESPN for trusting us enough to be able to execute it. Man, that was real fun. I've never done play-by-play before. Like, I've never done broadcast and color before. So that was a really, really fun pool to just dip the toe in. But again, I want to circle back to the same thing I said about the live show. We cannot do any of it without what this audience has done, without what the Bussin' audience has done for those guys. And there's very, very heavy overlap there, and we understand that, and we really, really appreciate that. And you guys have given us so many opportunities, and I promise you, again, you can tell I'm sort of bursting at the seams to be able to say more, but I can't right now. We're going to have many, many more opportunities because of that. And then I have to always follow that up with promising you that doesn't mean anything about the show. We are never going to screw the show up. The show is going nowhere other than where it is right now, the same way it is right now. Anything we get because of the success of the show will be in addition to. It will be an ornament on the tree. The show's the tree. So, Pate State forever.